The property actually is family property that goes back on my wife's side back into the 1930s, a farm that the grandparents moved up after the Depression, and then we had an opportunity over 10 years ago to start thinking about what would we want to do up on top of this hill. And the sighting of it, the angles of it, the light is all representational of how the sun rises and sets, and looking at nature here in the woods. And it's just been absolutely a wonderful experience. The experience of working with Weaver uniquely, there was not a glitch in the entire process. I don't know how many people can go through a remodel or a build and say that everything went perfectly from A to Z. But I can sit here and tell you that the staff was amazing to work with, the carpentry, the efficiency, scheduling, everything just worked without a problem at all. We had gone through years of looking at plans and designs. Almost, there was a time when the newspaper in Columbus would do a weekly design of the week kind of thing. We had a little clipping file, a little manila file that we would just store ideas in. And one year, about now more than 10 years ago, more than a decade ago, I was traveling up through Millersburg and in the Sugar Creek area, and had heard about Weaver from a friend who had done a shed here in Ohio. And I stopped in and just fell in love with the simple but yet elegant nature of the cabins. And it was just an almost immediate reaction that this particular cabin, the design of it, the coloring of it, the staining of it would look perfect here in the woods. So it was really an opportunity to build a dream home, a dream retirement home or cabin in the woods. We thought for years of what the name would be. We just kept calling it, and still do, the Cabin in the Woods. It just fit, and it still does today. That then led to needing some extra space, so the shed came along. And then after that, the ability to put what I call the sunset pavilion out in the field. And all of those were designed as an opportunity for a place for rest, for the arts, for music, for reading, and obviously, as we hear from the forest, wildlife, the birds and the bobcats and the coyotes and the deer and the wild turkey. They all make a presence here. And it really is just like watching a magical wild kingdom right off your front porch. I don't have to go to another cabin or another resort or go tent camping anywhere because I'm right here in the woods. The original thought was keep our home, our family home in the Columbus area, and what a great place the cabin would be for weekends and vacations and holiday weekends and so forth. And we found every time we were coming up here that we didn't want to leave. So that then led to a conversation of, what if we just moved here permanently and restructured our lives both professionally and personally to live here out in the country at this great Weaver cabin built. And so that transitioned to that phase, and now it's back to more of a weekend opportunity and holiday opportunity more than full time. But the purpose of the place has just been, again, for so many people, friends, relatives, children, honorary family members, to come and just be in nature. And I think if you looked at the guest book and the numbers of people that have come through here and stayed here, they're always reinforcing that having a place in the trees and having this cabin was simply one of the best decisions I've ever made. I'd like to say that I've made some decisions. This is one of the best ones of my life. We didn't want to do something that was going to be a lot of maintenance, so it wasn't an ideal to do something large, but big enough for family and friends to stay and feel comfortable with the spacing of the rooms in terms of lots of people, but also some private spaces. And then uniquely, the wraparound porch with the screened-in side of it really becomes an extension of the house in nice weather. But even in thunderstorms and the worst snowstorms, it's still amazing to sit on this porch and just watch the world and watch nature go by. Most important was quality and durability, and knowing that down the road, should there need to be improvements or additions or even just maintenance as any home gets older, that Weaver would be nearby enough to be able to call up as a resource and have that as an opportunity. Now, fortunately, knock on wood, it's been 10 years and everything is still holding up just great. So we really haven't had to do much, but looking at quality craftsmanship and professionalism and a real dedication to detail, people that know woodwork and know structures, that have seen the plans, watched it being built, and even just taking a tour, you just get a real sense of just how great the quality is, and that was important to me. I love looking at the cabin from the outside, particularly at night, when the lighting from the inside is then amplifying to the outside, and just seeing the silhouettes of whether it's a sunset or the stars coming out. The cabin makes a real presence, particularly at night. It's a beautiful place during the day, and when you walk up on it, you obviously already sort of feel a comfortable letdown of just rest and relaxation, but it's really glorious at night to see it, particularly driving in from the lane. The space that we built here has a crawl space, and that has some items in it, but it's not enough space to hold all the things you need to have in terms of tools and lawnmower and generators and things like that. So it was pretty obvious that we needed a shed right away, and it was a no-brainer to go right back. You see a lot of sheds out here along the road, and I'm sure all of them are fine, but it wasn't even a consideration. I went right back to Weaver for the shed to be built because I wanted the design of it and the stain and the roof and the pitches to have a similar look to it than they do, and I think it complements this property. And then last year, very fortunate to work with Weaver again to put up what we call the Sunset Pavilion. It was originally designed to be used for a wedding that was going to be on the property, which was glorious last summer, and now is great for watching thunderstorms and sunsets and just sitting out there and again enjoying nature. I hope at some point to do a garage, and my first call will be back to Weaver.